Welcome back to Life's a Garden. Today's guest is a gentleman I work with at Toyota. As a matter of fact, he technically is my superior. But today's on my show, so who's superior now? He is also a family man. I don't know if man is necessarily the right word there. But he has a wife and kids, so anything he does after that, it's really up to him. He's a family something. We'll go with that. He's also a big football fan. He is a Tennessee Titans fan, and God knows why. But I promise you we're going to find out today. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Robert Muir. All right, here we go. We finally got it. Finally got you here.
Finally made it.
You've been ducking me for
dodging,
months,
trying to get out of it. Yep.
Yeah, and it finally made it happen. Here you are.
I'm here.
You're in the hot seat, and I'm going to turn the temperature up.
All right.
And we're going to see. I'm going to ask you all the hard-hitting questions.
That sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Yeah. So we work together.
We do.
Toyota. I guess that's a decent spot to start at. Not my favorite topic, work.
Nope, work is not.
But, I mean, let me just ask you. Okay, so where did you get started into Toyota? Not just Toyota, but was that the first place you worked?
No. So high school 7, Don's Car Wash. Then got promoted to Lube Bay over there right when I graduated. And then I had a friend that worked at Toyota at the time. And so there was a job opening, applied. They took a guy in front of me, so I had to wait like another month. They finally got me in, and then 3 years later, after working in the shop just a little bit minor stuff, they offered me to be a service writer.
And that was at Toyota?
That was at Toyota.
Okay.
Yep. So, starting out, I did 4 10s at Toyota, and then worked 2 days at the Lube Bay at Don's. And I went full time at Toyota, and then they promoted me to a lube advisor, and then just been working up from there, and here I am.
So you've been at Toyota how long? You said it, and I missed it.
Technically, 11 years. I did leave for 2 months.
Yeah.
To go open up the Subaru store. It was just a vacation I took. So
yeah, right on. Okay, So 11 years, and you've been doing just service writing the whole time.
Well, I mean, I changed oil and then worked in the shop just a little bit for a few years, but yeah, mainly writing service most of the career there. So
okay. So for anybody who doesn't know, explain what a service writer's job is.
All right. So you call, we make appointments. We tell you what's wrong with the vehicle. You deal with us, not our technicians. We call you, tell you what's wrong, advise you what you need. People think of us as salesmen, sellers. We're not sellers. We tell you what your vehicle needs. You tell us yes or no. We advise. So I just want to make that very clear.
I was actually going to ask you this. So I worked customer service in food only. That's the only customer service I've ever worked. And there's obviously ups and downs to customer service.
Yes.
I mean, you get some really cool customers that are fun to deal with, or they're chill. And then you get customers who are a little bit the opposite of that.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, so food is kind of one of those things where you don't really fuck with people and their food.
Yeah.
It's a very touchy. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not an expensive thing, but it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with vehicles. Expensive stuff. I'm sure people get really pissed off when their bill's like $1,000.
Well, problem is they drive them. They think they drive great. They can never see underneath them. They never look under the hood. We tell them things are wrong. I've been there so long, I have a base of customers that I barely even have to call or go out and talk to in the showroom. I just do it. That loyalty that I've earned with them. But there's some people, they're like, there's nothing wrong with my car. You're wrong. You have that percent of people that think their car's just perfect all the time. And, you're just advising them what it needs. And they think it drives good. There's nothing wrong. But yes, in the last 2 years, customer service has gotten a lot harder. I mean,
that's
night and day difference. I mean, it's hard to explain. I think people have just gotten sick of everything going on in the world right now, and they don't trust anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing. They don't trust, and they're afraid to spend a lot of money right now. I think is a big
well, thing. You're definitely right about that. I think a lot of it too, like, and it's weird too because we didn't really do the lockdowns here as much.
No, not as bad. No.
So it's like it's almost like people forgot how to be social
They did.
in the world.
Yeah.
Even just for a moment. And then also I think people try and translate this internet world, like the way they talk to people on the internet, into real life, and it's like no. That's not how this works.
That's the biggest thing is social media. Social media is turning people's heads the wrong way. You can tweet about anybody or Facebook reviews, Google reviews, you go and you can diss anybody all the time. And that's all people do is they leave negative reviews. And it's like hurting a lot of businesses right now with customer service. So
put everybody up on a pedestal that they think they can just like look down upon everybody at. It's interesting. Like the idea of camaraderie or like your neighbor is kind of gone.
Yeah.
So what are some of the? We don't want to hear about the highs.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Life's a Garden. We want to be positive here.
Yeah.
But I want to hear about some of the like. I know. From being there's been some freakouts up front. We can use discretion. Not gonna use anybody's name or any information, but just give me like some crazy freakouts people have had up there, because I know there's been a few.
Oh, I mean, one guy flipped out because he thought we damaged his hood. We didn't do anything with this hood. We changed his sunroof. Nothing with this hood or paint or anything. Said we chipped it. And freaked out, started dropping F-bombs at us and called one of our other employees a fat tub of lard, which was absolutely horrible. And he handled it. That person who was called recent, that, wasn't it? Yeah, that was
because I remember this.
Like a year ago, within the past year. And the gentleman who handled it very well and calmly. And I saw a different side of him that day, but he handled it really well professionally and asked him to leave. I mean, I've had a lady who would not give me her first name because she was afraid because she was in a public place and didn't want to give me any information. Swore up and down somebody has broke into her car with a computer to get it to stop driving on its own. And, man,
she's being microchipped.
Yeah, exactly. Being followed. I mean, we've had people come in. Yeah, I've been followed all the way here from another state. I think somebody's following me. There's a tracker in my car, and
I mean technically there is.
There could be, yeah.
Like, isn't there like a GPS?
On some of them,
but also
you have a phone.
Ta-da!
Exactly.
You're being tracked all the time.
Tracked all the time. I mean, if we want to go back to freakouts, man, I have so many. Like I can't even. Like,
what are the ones that like live rent free in your head? That just you often think about these ones.
It's in the very minor one. This guy bought a Prius. It was brand new. It's been 6 months old, and I took him to get a key fob battery at the parts counter. And he dealt with a guy who used to work there, and he goes, okay, $4.99, sir. He goes, $4.99. It's 3 fucking months old, and just flipped. I was like, whoa. Chill out. It's just a key fob battery.
$5.
We'll get you a key fob battery. I said, just put the battery in, man. We're good. And it wasn't a big freak out, but it was just one that sticks in my mind. Cause it's just like, really?
$4
over a battery, a little watch battery. You're gonna freak out over $4 or $5. I mean,
yeah. Well, it's like, I think a lot of people too, when it comes to customer service, have come to realize as long as they complain, they will get things for free.
Yep.
Or for cheap.
Yep. Free or cheap, and that's getting a little, and that's true, people. But I try to coast around that in a way. I can use it to where, well, I'm not discounting that. That wasn't our fault. This isn't on us. If let's say we take longer on a car than anticipated. Did you want me to give you your car back, not fixed, and have a problem? Because I'm not going to. I'm sorry it took a little longer. Gonna get you right. I try to do everything I can to not bring people to doing that. And if I can get somebody that, is patient, really cool with that, I have no problem helping them out, giving them 10% or whatever, or free car wash, whatever. But the people that freak out and everything, they get a deal that day, but in the future, no deals.
Yeah, we
remember those interactions, and
exactly.
If you treat us poorly, we're gonna we're not going to be the best to you. In the
Well,
future,
yeah, now
so-
you're on the do not serve list
Yep.
type thing.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. Customer service is getting super hard. It's just the only way to put
Everywhere. So, okay, and you're kind of that middle man between the customer and the service, like the
And the
mechanics
technician,
and stuff
yep.
like that. Let's point our direction toward the techs. What's that like working with a tech? Because I know techs, I'm not going to speak out of turn here, but can be a little, what's the word?
Oh,
Bipolar?
yes.
Like,
for
or
sure,
I don't know if that's the
sure.
right word. It's like, what is it where you're manic? Like,
Yeah.
like they're really cool, really happy one minute, and the next minute they're. And
Yeah.
now, don't get me wrong, I work with detailers who are the exact same.
Yeah, yep.
One minute they're super chill, next minute they're freaking out.
And it depends what kind of jobs they get. You can
I'm
give
sure.
them a really, really good maintenance job, but then you give them like tires alignment the next day, and they're just, they go from happy to unhappy like that. But
Yeah, what are some of the things? Is it because like you get jobs that don't pay but take long kind of thing, or is it like
in general, nobody really likes doing tires.
interesting?
They're just
Just because they suck,
bending
like,
over hard on the back. They're just I don't know what it is. I don't
kind of
know.
a pain in the ass.
I can't really say why. Yeah, they're just more of like my pain in the ass, job that they think they shouldn't be doing. And I get it because they're mechanics. They want to fix cars, maintenance and repairs. Tires are just one things they just don't like to do.
Gotcha.
Old school timing belts, brakes, of course, valve adjust, spark plugs, good heavy maintenance like that. A lot of them love. But when you give them a good big engine job, especially on an older car, and it breaks and keeps breaking as you're working, bolts break, studs break, yeah, they can get pretty unhappy pretty quick. So
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, for the and for the most part, I feel like we have pretty level-headed technicians.
we do.
Who
Yeah.
don't, for the most part, freak out on a regular basis.
No.
We all have our moments. I think that's any job.
Oh yeah, we all.
and I would agree.
Yep.
I would put myself in that category as well. So, while we're on the subject, detail department. Thoughts, opinions
I think we
as
have,
a service writer?
I think we have a fantastic detail department. You guys are just not used to getting work directly from us, so it's not an everyday thing. You guys grab them out of the box,
Yes.
have them out there, right? So when I bring you something, your first reaction is, "What is that?" It's like, "Man, I just need you to clean the stain off the seat real quick," or "Hey, I got a windshield for. Is it here?"
Well,
I
okay,
think
because now, and you're 100% right. I do that
yeah.
because there's nothing more annoying than getting. Okay, and here's my thing. This is me personally. I really don't like being handed things,
Yeah.
and that's just me in general. So, like when a salesman comes up and wants to, salesmen always wonder why we freak out over
BDQ or
BDQs. It's
something.
because I have to stop what I'm currently doing to do that.
To wash a car. Yep.
And that's my only, like, it's an instant frustration I get.
Yeah.
Now, with the windshields, I've had multiple times where I've gotten a windshield, cut it out, and then it's not there.
Yeah.
So now, not only am I waiting, but the customer's waiting.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why I asked.
Well, yeah, and the biggest thing too is you have that one spot. Now you're down for however long it takes to get the windshield
Right.
until you get it fixed. When you could be working on a better car, or easier car, something
Well,
like that.
when it comes
So I get
to
it.
when it comes to the customer stuff, I always am more stressed out because, like, I know they're gonna see it. It's like if I do something for the lot and it's kind of
It is
janky,
what it is. Yeah.
they're buying it kind of janky. Like where like maybe there's glue popping out, or maybe there's a stain somewhere that was caused by the windshield or whatever. Even just detailing. Oh, I didn't detail that as quite as good.
Yeah. Which is very rare.
With customer stuff, I know they're going to be meticulous and see and like if I mess something up or if something's out of place. So I'm always a little bit more on edge when it comes to the customer work.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, especially right now, always more than happy to get work.
Oh, for sure. At a time like this, absolutely.
It's just getting slow
Yeah,
and
slowing down, not much to do. But I do like all you guys back there. I really do.
But
You guys all do a good job.
But let's be honest. Who's the best?
Who's the best?
I mean,
All right.
they're all
guess-
going to watch it, so they know. You don't got to say it. They know. They know who's
Boyer, Glover,
Yep.
I love you. Dakota's the best.
well, actually I was going to turn and say Craig.
No,
it's not.
No,
Kevin.
you guys all have your certain qualities that are better.
And I've said that to those guys too. It's like we all have our own little niche.
If you can sit there and stand and babysit Kevin, he does a great job.
Speaking of manic,
yeah,
that's who I was referring to.
Manic. Oh, Kevin,
the guy who freaks out at almost everything and then is super cheery.
I will tell a specific story about Kevin. All right, so Kevin worked for the lube bay for me a while ago, right when he first started there, and we used to have our oil downstairs like bottles. Okay. So if it was a specific oil they wanted, we had it downstairs. So Kevin went downstairs and grabbed 6 quarts of, I believe it was Castrol. And I'm like, hey man, they actually want Mobil 1. And he took that oil and he just threw it and just stomped off to parts. And I was like, what just happened? Like, he just threw these 6 quarts of oil down. I'm like, what are you doing? He wouldn't answer me, wouldn't talk to me, and then he comes out. He's like, hey, did you want that pulled inside or on the side? Are they waiting? Super nice about it. I'm like, how can you pick the oil up?
Yeah. How about you clean that fucking oil up first?
And it didn't break or anything. I just remember his motion. I was just like really appalled. I didn't know what to
You're like,
say.
Huh, that was an interesting way to handle that.
So
I've seen a few of those moments back there, yeah.
No, and Kevin and I used to go. We went to Anytime Fitness together for a while. Worked out after work and good bonding. I love Glover. It's Glover.
Yeah.
What else do you say? It's Kevin.
Yeah.
Day in the life.
Actually, I was gonna ask you too. So, what are some of like the more disastrous moments you've seen? I know we've had tires fall off on customers. We've had, I don't know. I don't know if anything's ever fallen off a lift since your time being there.
No.
Like, what are some of the more disastrous moments that have popped in your in your time being there?
Well, of course, oil plugs loose, making a mess. My first experience, it wasn't there, but at Don's when I was changing oil, the gasket on the old oil filter stayed on there, so I double gasketed it, and it was on a diesel truck, and it sprayed everywhere, oil everywhere. Yeah.
Damn.
Toyota, of course, we've had our seat stains, the wheels, of course, lug nuts being left loose. But the most disastrous though, I don't know. I guess I didn't really witness it, but probably the worst thing that's ever happened there is a long time ago. It was when my desk actually used to be in the lube bay. There was a guy that came in the night before and parked his car outside and got out and had a heart attack and died in our lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And yeah, super, super weird. And we had a cleaning guy at the time. He went out there, checked his pulse, and he was
Jesus
gone. Yeah, had a heart attack. And so they made a joke that, because all our new cars used to be parked with their Avalons, that the guy got out and saw the sticker price of an Avalon and collapsed. That was the joke going around. But that was just super weird to think. Like, I wake up to this news story and people saying it. Number one, Jim Harmon was telling me about it. He called me and told me, and I'm saying, bullshit, Jim. I know you're such a liar.
Yeah, right.
Then I look in Q2 News and sure shit.
Wow. I never heard that.
Holy cow, dude. Yeah, like right in the lot there, just had a heart attack.
Damn.
It's weird.
That's crazy. I mean, I guess that can happen anywhere, anytime.
It can. Yeah, it's just a really random place for it to happen, but I guess he just got out and just collapsed.
Wow.
Right there.
Damn. So. This isn't disastrous, but I mean, theoretically it's disastrous, but I know you know this story, and I'm going to use complete anonymity here. There was a lube tech. This is one of my favorite stories. There was a lube tech who worked there. Weird guy. Which, by the way, why are most of our lube techs weird? You know what I mean? Like, when they come back and bring me stuff, I'm like, just tell me what you need. Like, don't be weird about it.
They don't know how to handle those conversations, and that's why we do it.
Yeah. Anyway, weird kid. And I don't know if it was while he was working or right after he was working there. And I'll tell you who this was at. You'll probably know who I'm talking about, but I'll tell you at least afterwards if you don't. I saw on Facebook a friend of mine, girl, she posted a picture or like a conversation, and it was of this person, this lube tech that worked with us, asking her for like feet pics and things of this, and like very creepily. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. And were you aware of this?
Yes.
Yeah. And like he was asking her for feet pics and like being real creepy about it. And like when I saw, because it had his name on the thing, and I was like, dude, we work with that guy. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't there like the next day.
Yeah. He came, got us. He quit. Honestly,
Was it because of that?
No.
It was just totally unrelated?
Yeah, just was done, wanted a new job, and yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Are there, oh my god. I love that.
It's a really weird story.
Very weird.
Such a weird conversation.
Yeah. And then, okay, to your knowledge, and I feel like I've heard stories, but I don't know, have there ever been any, like, hookups in, like, the basement or anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Good.
No. That would be an immediate.
Of course. And I'm pretty sure
See ya.
I'm pretty sure that would.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
God, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, we work with a lot of weird people, or we have worked.
Yeah, for sure.
Like maybe not currently,
For sure.
but we definitely have.
Yeah.
Because I just keep there's like a reel in my head of people who I'm like weirdo.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. A lot of the past 3 years, the crew we have now, they're do a great job. They really do. We have a good. Yeah.
We'll see.
Right now,
they might have skeletons in the closet.
Yeah,
we don't.
You
know
never
about.
know. It could, but the crew we have right now, I think, is going to be with us for a while. I think they do fine. We don't have a lot of mistakes. Honestly, that's the good thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Do we forget a sticker in the windshield? Do we forget the maintenance light? Forget to fill washer fluid? Absolutely. They do 100 cars plus a week. Between a few of them, they're going to forget little things. But the main thing is you're not leaving plugs loose or filter gaskets,
or tires
splitting them or
loose.
tires loose, and you're double checking. They all have stepped up and done a really well job at, and not me having to pull them in the office and say, hey, we got to quit this. They've all, and it's a respect thing too. And I think we have a great crew all the way around, all our departments. They really do. So,
what's it like working next to a guy like Joey?
Joey. I love that guy.
Whose hell is hotter? Yours with Joey or mine with Kevin?
Who's what?
Whose hell is hotter? Yours?
It depends. The one mine.
I love both those guys.
Joey,
I'm totally just kidding.
The one thing with Joey is, I'm gonna hate to say this to you because you're a huge Broncos fan. When the Broncos lose, Monday is the absolute greatest day of my life, and I hate Mondays, especially if the Titans win, unless they lose to the Jets. But when the Broncos lose, and it's not even so much Denver as much. Okay, with Joey, Miami Hurricanes. He is a huge Hurricane fan. First game of the year they played Bama, and I'm a Bama fan, and they slaughtered them. And I came into work and he's always the U. I'm like, Joey, the U is just a wide open V. Like, it's nothing special about it, dude. It's crazy, and
they've had their moments.
They had their moments way back in the day,
Yeah.
and Miami has produced some really, really good players. But Joey is very, very smart. He is, when it comes to statistics, I'll sit there and say, or Titans this, Titans that, and well, did they do this in 1972 when this guy did this? He can break down stats, yards, whatever it is for individual people that I've never even heard of. He is very, very smart, and the one thing between him and I is a lot of competition, and it's not like if we lose, we are mad at each other or anything, but with our numbers in service, we have a lot of competition. We push each other hard, and we both perform well. And
that's good.
No, I love that guy.
That's kind of how I feel
Good friend.
in the back. Like, it's kind of a competition almost. And it's good because it gets us all, like, working harder.
Oh, yeah, and he's the type, you need something, he doesn't matter what he's doing, doesn't matter the weather conditions, he's dropping, he's there. I mean, he's
Great.
Yep. So, yeah, he's good dude. Good to work with, fun to joke with. He's a smelly bastard, but other than that, he's all right.
Sorry, just checking that. Let's go ahead and transition that perfectly into football.
Sure.
So, you're a Titans fan,
Huge Titans fan, yeah.
and you're completely open about that.
Completely open about that.
I respect that. There's something to be said about that, because normally you might keep that to yourself.
Yeah. On that specific team, yes.
But I commend you for your bravery.
I rep them every weekend. Shirt, hat, sweater, does not matter.
I don't know if you've told me this. You might have, but just for the sake of the podcast, why? Or like what got you into being a Titans fan?
Typical young kid story. Super Bowl against the Rams.
Okay.
Stepdad was going for the Rams. I picked the Titans just for fun.
Okay.
$5 on it, whatever. Titans lost, and ever since then, just always rooted for them. It was nothing. I don't know. It was just I rooted for him then. I'm gonna root for him forever.
You weren't born into it, or
no, wasn't born into it. Actually, my biological dad, I don't know him or anything, but he's a huge Rams fan apparently. So it just kind of weird how that worked out too. But yeah, not born into it. Nothing. Mom didn't really care much. Sister doesn't watch sports. Nothing. But yeah, just kind of from that game on, just kind of started rooting for him and actually started watching him a lot. And we got really into football, and McNair, Eddie George, man. I mean, that really got me into football.
Nice.
So,
see, if I had done it that way, you know who my team would have been?
who's that?
Buccaneers.
Oh man.
Because I just knew, fuck the Raiders.
Yep.
That's all I knew. I don't know anything about the Buccaneers, but I'm rooting for them.
Yep.
So 2003, and that would have been my team and hey, that might have paid off for me now.
Right now, it'd be a good time to be a Buccaneers fan.
But more than happy to be a Broncos fan.
Oh yeah, no, I will root for the Broncos depending on who they're playing. They're playing like the Ravens, the Eagles. I will 100% root for. I do not like Ravens or Eagles. But if they're playing Eagles, are really the only team in NFC I'll root against on an AFC. But any AFC team playing in NFC, I'm going to go for NFC just because.
Why the Eagles?
I do not like their fan base, man.
Fair enough.
Absolutely hate their
Trash.
fan base. And the Ravens, that is the biggest outside division rivalry of the Titans. And the guy who said it best was Ray Lewis.
Huh.
Who is your biggest rivalry outside of the division? He said it was always the Titans.
Why?
Him and McNair, or him and Eddie George going at it.
Interesting.
And it was just because they met so many times in the playoffs, regular season was always a dogfight. Biggest out of division, and I cannot stand the Ravens.
That's because ours was, I would say it's the Patriots.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, because Brady, the only losing record Brady has to a team is the Broncos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I don't know, we played them in the playoffs a lot. We dashed their playoff hopes a lot. They dashed ours a few times too, but we met them in the playoffs a lot.
That 1 year
and then of course you have Manning and Brady.
Well, yeah, was it? Yeah, because Manning was playing for the Broncos at the time. It was the year they went to the Super Bowl. Didn't they play in the AFC Championship?
Game. And it came down
to...
they
went for it on 4th and
it was a pick.
2 or whatever. Well, there was one...
And Gronk...
They went for a 4th and 2, and they threw it to Wes Welker. Wasn't... Who was it? Brady threw it to somebody on 4th and short.
It wasn't Wes, because that was after that.
Maybe
this was the year we won the Super Bowl, you say?
I think so. Either you won it, or who'd you lose to... I'm trying to think. But they went for it on 4th and short, and Brady threw it, and they didn't convert.
Right.
But I thought Welker was on the team.
Oh, you are right.
Yeah.
That was the year we lost the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah, to the Seahawks. Okay.
But wait, no, Welker was on our team when we lost the Super Bowl.
I don't know, man.
It must have been Edelman.
It might have been Edelman, yeah.
Because Welker was on our team when we lost the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I do remember that, though.
I just remember saying, yeah, you got to be Bill Belichick to go for that kind of play. I mean, it was a shotgun hike, and it was just a quick out route, and
he
didn't
got
convert.
Caught by Chris Harris, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, and took him down behind.
Yes.
It's like, you got Brady, who's rushed for what? 1,029 yards in his career on QB sneaks. He can go a couple yards. He would have been able to do that, and that would have extended it and made it. But yeah, I just remember saying you got to be Bill Belichick to call that kind of play.
Yeah, that was
Just to
definitely
go
our
for
out of conference rival,
Yep.
I would say.
Yep.
So, actually, I wanted to ask you about what do you think about this John Gruden stuff?
It's just a really weird, random thing to happen 10 years later.
Right.
What he said was wrong, obviously.
Yeah.
The things he said was wrong, I just would think that him being the person he is, this would have came out sooner. Well, within weeks of this happening, 10 years ago, and he could have owned up to it then and moved on, and we would have all forgot about it by now. But now it's coming this 10 years later because somebody dug it up, and now and that guy he offended and made fun of, isn't he still the president of?
I'm not sure.
I think they reelected him for another term, and now he feels that because of what was said, that's why they reelected him to doing what he did. Now,
he
now
he just
feels
got
that
reelected.
way. Yeah, and I think Gruden's a great guy. I mean, many people have said I'm traveled with John all over the world, and he's never said anything homophobic or racist or anything. Like I said, what he said was wrong. I just wish this would have came out a lot sooner, and he could have owned up to it, and then moved on, and we wouldn't be going through this right now. You just ruined his career, obviously.
Very clearly a hell of a coach.
Hell of a coach. He's proved it many times, and now you've completely taken a team that pretty average right now.
Well, they were
doing
on the
okay.
up and up.
They were,
and he did a lot to make them that.
Yep, he took a lot of risks getting rid of like Amari Cooper, Khalil Mack, getting all these first rounders, drafting the first round guy, that safety who got accused for the rape in college. He took a chance on him. He, Josh Jacobs. I mean, the era of the guys he brought over to the team are going to make that team a lot better. I don't know if they can do it without him though.
It's gonna be tough.
Could be really, really tough.
I have a hard time with it because yes, what he said was wrong, and we're in an era where apologies just don't do it. Like that's not enough. You have to be sacrificed to the social media gods, and that's unfortunate. Like, granted, I mean he resigned, but it was a firing.
It
like
was.
They approached him. They're like, listen, we're gonna have.
I can almost see. That owner saying, "You're going to give me your resignation right now."
We want to do this. I'm sure they wanted to do it like amicably,
Yep.
but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Does he deserve to lose his job? I don't know, because here you got a guy like Deshaun Watson, who's going through a lot of really crazy shit going on there.
Yep.
Yeah, let's put it through a court. Let's find out what's going on here. But he's still technically employed by the NFL.
He is. He's sitting on the bench getting paid $30 million.
You got guys like Tyreek Hill, who have proven
their child
to be abusive to their children and their spouses, and he's a top player in the NFL.
Yep.
So it's like, where do we draw the line?
Yeah.
They took down his John Gruden's name from the Ring of Fame in the Buccaneers. O.J. Simpson's is still up in Buffalo.
In Buffalo, yeah.
And he straight up murdered somebody.
Because he wasn't proven it. They kept it up, but then he went and
But he's still just got a bad...
Yeah.
He's got... Yeah. There's no good name around him. Like, everyone... Like, whenever you associate...
When you hear O.J. Simpson, you think murder.
Yes.
That's the first word that comes to mind, not 2,000-yard rusher, not greatest... Cleveland Brown running back, nothing. Murder. First thing that comes to mind is, he murdered Nicole. And
so for them to do that too, it's like they're attempting now to erase his legacy. You think he'll ever end up in the Hall of Fame? No.
No.
And it's like, I always bring it back to this in topics like this. Does what the person, which let's just say, in comparison to a lot of these other ones, not so bad. Words.
Yep.
And harsh words.
Yep.
Nothing that can't be forgiven.
Yeah.
Realistically.
And that's the difference is people don't know how to know the difference between forgive and forget.
Yeah.
I have forgiven many people for things said, done, whatever to me. You don't have to forget it. You'll never forget it, but you can forgive somebody and move on and be better about it. We'll see how this whole thing plays out with Deshaun Watson. I mean, it could be really, really bad, but my biggest thing with that is I've watched Deshaun Watson from college to NFL, his home life, how he was, with his family, didn't have a lot of money, and then he gets this huge contract from the Texans and is so emotional about it because he finally feels like his dreams came true, and all of a sudden all these cases come out. Now that he's going to get paid $200 million, all these people come out to try and accuse him. Do I think he did it? I don't. I really don't. But I haven't heard anything else but the accusations towards him. I haven't heard any court documents. They haven't released names. They haven't released anything. So until he fully admits and they have 100% proof that it was done, I believe he didn't do it. That's just me.
Yeah, no, and I'm all for innocent until proven guilty.
Yep.
I always have been. Here's another thing. Why is Dan Snyder still an employee of the NFL? I mean, technically he's not an employee.
Yeah.
He's an owner. But why is he still associated?
Yep.
We saw what the NBA did with Donald Sterling.
Yep.
All these things that Dan Snyder has been, that's been unveiled about Dan Snyder in these emails is way worse.
Yep.
Than what John Gruden has.
Yep.
And another thing too, these were private emails that it's like, okay, we're gonna throw John Gruden onto the fire and let him burn. Mm-hmm. Let's unlock anybody's fucking private emails or
privacy.
text messages. Guarantee you everyone at one point or another has said something that would get them in the same hot water.
Yep. And everybody in the world has.
Yeah.
I've said stuff. You've probably said stuff. We've all said stuff that you don't think is a big deal when it comes out. Then when,
to your friends.
Yeah. And then
as a joke
Yep.
And it's like, it's not meant to be taken harshly.
Yeah.
And who doesn't talk shit about people? Like, I've talked shit about plenty of people that would hurt their feelings to their face. But it's like, I would never... The thing of it is, so for them to bring that up, and like, okay, this dude who Gruden talked about, yeah, I'm sure his feelings got hurt. That wasn't meant for him to hear.
Yeah.
And granted, that's fucked up. Yeah, I get it. But it's like, you bringing that to light, you're the one hurting his feelings, not John Gruden.
Yep. Yeah, and like I said, respectfully, it was wrong what he said and what he did, and I just can't believe that now, 10 years later, they're bringing this up.
Right.
Like, this is...
The Dan Snyder
you're
stuff
just,
is...
Oh, yeah. Well, and you're just ruining people's lives. That's all they're doing, ruining people's careers and lives.
What was the initial point of that investigation?
For sure.
What it was about... It's because there was complaints, right? From the cheerleaders and stuff?
There was complaints about... Yeah, somebody heard that he said something about... that could lead to racism and
No.
or
I'm talking because all this came out from the Dan Snyder stuff. Because the investigation was on the Washington, and that just so happened to get found throughout that. Well, that was just a byproduct.
Yeah, they went through 100,000 emails. They said 100,000 different emails,
right?
And just happened to come across those.
Yes,
but.
Obviously, there was somebody who was just like, well, look at this, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure somebody who wasn't supposed to got a hold of them.
But the initial investigation was on Washington for violating, like, personal conduct policies. Yep. And a lot, it has to do with, like, the cheerleaders. Like, he was forcing them to pose naked and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this is a notorious owner who we know is a piece of shit.
Yep.
We've known this forever. And now it's being brought to light, yet he still owns the team.
Yep. Yeah. We're not doing anything about it. He still gets to live comfortably.
I guarantee you, not for long.
No. They're gonna with this whole John Gruden thing, that's gonna open a can of worms, and
that's just what that's what irritates me. And don't get me wrong, as a Broncos fan, like, it couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah.
We're playing them this week.
Yeah.
And I would not advocate for that to happen for anybody to lose their job in the sake of winning a football game.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'll bat for John Gruden and say, if he's going to lose his job, how is Dan Snyder still around?
Job too.
How is Tyreek Hill still a factor in this? How is, I mean, it's so crazy how, like, it's, there's no standard. It's always just kind of up to them, whatever they want. And part of me thinks Gruden got the axe and got, like, the brunt of it because he was so against Goodell.
Yep. Yeah, well, and he called me straight up, and he even admitted it. Yeah, I called Goodell a faggot. I told him he was a faggot. Yeah, I said it. He admits and man's up to his stuff now. But that doesn't matter now between, and 10 years ago, completely different. Back then, it could have been wash your hands, moved on, and everybody would have forgot about it. Now that we're 10 years later and there's so many people that take every little thing to heart, that right there is just enough for a guy to lose his job. It's crazy. Like I said, what he said was wrong. It was. But I think between men, they could have washed their hands of it, and he said, I'm really sorry I said that. That was wrong, and moved on.
Of course.
But like you said, that email was sent personal to somebody else, not for anybody else.
It wasn't for public consumption.
No, it wasn't.
And if we could see everybody's private messages, I'm sure we'd be a lot of shocked faces out there.
Yep. Yeah, if my text messages were able to go live on, Facebook between anybody or yours or anybody. Yeah.
Well, it's like you're going to talk differently to your buddy than you are to your kid or your wife or your priest, or your boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, those conversations are going to be completely different than with your pals. Yep. The guys you've been, or your brother or whoever. Yeah,
conversations will be way different. And, texting like a friend, like, hey, shitbag, what's up?
Yeah.
That right there would offend
like he's insulting him.
Oh, my God, that's horrible. A shitbag? You're calling him a bag full of shit. Yeah, he's a bag of dicks, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People would take
it's like, that's why he didn't take offense to that.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, look what he sent back. He said, what, douchebag? That's people talk different to each other, and it's like everybody can take every little thing to heart. They take every little thing and they can, that's offensive. It's offensive because you're offended. I don't give a shit. Yeah. Sometimes it's
offensive to who?
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, exactly. You're offended because I call him a shitbag. I mean, people will get offended over that.
Yeah, okay. It's like, it's not your problem to be offended by it.
Yeah.
Like, why are you...
between him and I.
Yeah.
You're out of it. Just, sit back. Yeah.
And it's like, obviously, I think we've said enough about the Gruden stuff. It is what it is, and it's like... It's their company to run how they want, so if that's what they want to do with the whole situation. I mean, it's Raiders organization, they get to choose who is their head coach.
Yeah.
NFL, I mean, it just looks bad in the sense of, like, we're kind of picking and choosing who gets punished.
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy who said some nasty words, versus people who have physically put their hands on a woman.
Yep.
And who got fired? The one who said something.
The verbal
wasn't even verbal. It was written.
Yep. Tight.
You know what I mean?
Tight. Yep.
So it's just odd that's how we're gonna handle things. But it's not our thing to handle.
No, it's not our thing. I just think if he's gonna go, there's a lot more people that need to go as well. They need to start making an example over everybody.
And good riddance to fucking Dan Snyder.
Yep.
I've always thought he was one of the worst owners in the NFL. Might be the worst.
Probably.
Jim Irsay's up there too.
Yeah, I don't like Jerry Jones though.
Who does?
Absolutely.
If you're not a Cowboys fan.
Absolutely.
Or if you are a Cowboys
even
fan.
Cowboys fans don't like Jerry Jones. I can never, and I like Dak. I love where Dak got drafted and, playing behind Romo. Romo gets hurt and he comes out and just kills it his rookie year, takes him to the playoffs. They had a thing going with him and Zeke and the receiver. They had a great thing going. I love watching them. But I hate the Cowboys because of Jerry Jones. Cannot root for them. Unless they're playing an AFC team in my division, I hate them. I can't go for him. I do not like Jerry Jones.
Right.
When you'd see his name, owner, CEO, and president, it's like, why do you need all three titles? Like, why you're 90 years old? Why can't you have...
Because he wants all the attention.
All the attention. I'm going to make all the decisions.
And that's worked out really well for them, clearly.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into more like the game football. Like, we're week 6 now?
Week 6.
Jesus.
Yeah, what do we...
I feel like we've just been flying.
Yeah, week 6. Yeah, and honestly, I can't even... It doesn't even feel like it started.
Right.
Because and it sucks the first few games of the season because you think, oh, we've got this guy. Oh my God. You're like me. Man, Henry's still healthy. We got Tannehill. A.J. Brown's healthy. We got Julio. Got Bud Dupree on defense. You know, we got Danico Autry from the Colts as defense lineman, him and Jeffrey Simmons. Like, dude, we're going to be killer. And then come out and just absolutely give up 5 sacks to the Cardinals, to one guy. Give up like 10 sacks that game.
To be fair, the Cardinals are still undefeated, so
they
nothing
are.
to hang your head at.
But Chandler Jones had 5 sacks that first game. Career high. How many do you think he's had since then? 0.
Has he really?
Absolutely nothing.
Wow.
So Titans have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. It's proven that with the run game, okay? But they're now they've given up the most sacks this year. They are the worst at giving up sacks.
It's weird how it transitions like that, you know? I mean, technically the Broncos are like the best defense as far as like points allowed.
Yeah.
We've allowed the least amount of points, yet we're 3-2.
And I was really surprised last week by Denver. Denver is the hardest defense, and forever that I can remember, the hardest defense to run against. And they let Najee Harris absolutely.
Well, that was definitely the worst we've had all season.
Yeah, and it probably will be.
Even last week or the week before against the Ravens, Lamar didn't really do much on the ground.
No,
nobody really did.
No, it's a very, very that defense is so structured to stop the run. It's unreal. It is very, very good at the run game.
Yeah, that was rough. And then we almost came back and won, but
yeah,
it is what it is. Hopefully we can beat the Raiders this week. I always like beating this is our first divisional game, too.
Oh, yeah. We've played 2.
Okay.
We've won them both. We beat the Colts and then beat the Jags.
See, that's the thing that's nice about, like, you're not in a tough division.
Without Deshaun there and with Andrew Luck retiring.
Yeah, I mean, it's really...
It is.
The Jags suck balls.
They do. And I think the Jags are going to have something special here in a couple years. Number one,
with Trevor
I think
Lawrence.
They need to get rid of Urban Meyer. I think Urban Meyer is... not a horrible coach, and of course what he did,
he's a good college coach,
and what he did, he did something bad behind the scenes and got caught. And
that's a good point.
What's up with that?
That's a good point.
You literally got caught
groping
another woman,
young woman,
and your wife says, "Oh, we all have sins," but it's a young woman, and now her life is ruined because she might lose her job. Her HR department is investigating her. In what happened with Urban Meyer, she might lose her job because of it.
Because she was horny for Urban?
Yes, exactly. It's so hypocritical, man.
It really is. Like, she's going to get in trouble, but Urban still gets to keep coaching the shit team.
Yeah, keep coaching the shit team because they got a quarterback, number one, and the running back in the first round. That was crazy, too, getting him and Etienne from Clemson, which was great.
And he's even out.
And he's out. He injured all year, so... I think the Jags are going to be actually here in a few years. I think they're going to be maybe not a contender, but a team you're not going to want to sleep on.
I'll give my prediction about the Jags. More of Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is on a different team in 4 years.
Think so?
Yeah. Based on the track record of the Jags, unless it's going to be hard because he's got to prove that he's still good while on the Jags. I think people are going to trust that he will be good regardless.
So they were saying during
I think he'll eventually ask for a trade or just not sign.
Not sign the they play him on the tag his 5th year, pick up his 5th year option, he goes and plays. If you look at his pro day personal workouts that they were able to hold with him, when combine and stuff like that, they said that his footwork all remind him. They all reminded them of like Peyton Manning. He one of the best quarterbacks to come out and show, and I think he is a very good quarterback. I really do. He reminds me. His situation is going to remind me a lot of Matthew Stafford.
I think you're
playing
right.
for a shit team for many years. Maybe he signs a 2-3 year extension, or maybe he goes out in a couple years and absolutely kills it and becomes the highest QB. You never know.
Yeah.
But my prediction is I think he'll play on the tag, and then I think he's on another team.
Gone. Unless they got to make strides.
They're going to have to beef up the line. and they're gonna have to get him a content. Who they have? Marvin Jones.
Yeah,
Great
there's
wide
no
receiver.
wide receivers
You
there.
know, Chark. I mean, Chenault. Yeah, they probably
It's
play okay.
It's a C squad.
But
on the
I
NFL.
mean, you know, if they were to get somebody like, let's say, they get like Antonio Brown.
They need a true number
You know,
one.
They need a true number one receiver that he can build chemistry with to be able to get the ball to.
Yes.
And if he does that and they get a good thing going, I think they can be something. But
They'll be a contender in the division.
maybe in the division, yeah, maybe a last wild card spot or something. But it's going to be really weird without Deshaun in that division. Like if he goes to Denver, for instance,
I would love that.
that would be awesome. And
there's plenty of Asian women in Denver.
yeah, exactly. Oh man, no, great quarterback. And even I remember they interviewed Derrick Henry. You know, what do you think about the Deshaun Watson wanting out? You know, he goes, oh, or before he signed his extension, you know, what if he goes to another team? They're talking about doing this, and he goes, man, that'd be doing us a favor. You know, that team he does. Deshaun is a very good quarterback. He deserves all the money that he's getting.
I hope for him, all this gets washed away. I really do. You know,
for him,
it is because he's too much of a talent to just have wasted.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
The thing is the Texans are interested in trading him. Just what they want for him is too much to ask right now. But let's say they sit him. Let's say 2 more years he sits on the bench, just gets his money. Well, now he hasn't played football in 3 years. Is he really worth 3 first-round draft picks, 2 seconds?
Yeah, now you're
this player, and a swap. Is he really worth that much after sitting 3 years? Now he's going to get off the bench. He has no chemistry. He hasn't thrown a football with true talents in how many years? Is he worth it, or is he another Kaepernick?
right.
You know what I mean? For his sake, I hope this gets settled and he gets, you know, if he gets suspended or gets washed away, everything's good. Then he moves on, he can play. Because I truly don't think he did it. I just think it's really, really shady that all of a sudden he signs this huge contract and 2 weeks later he's being accused of. And it's, I don't know. And like I said, one story has come out where the massage therapist came out and he was laying there with just laying there naked. Well, you need to cover yourself, and he just covers his junk. It's like that's what he did, and he's getting all these accusations now.
So I haven't really read into a lot of it. Obviously, there's some contention there, or else it'd be a cut and dry settled case already.
Yeah, and there's something there, and somebody said that somebody had text messages, but
you can fake all that shit.
Why have text messages not been made viral to us to see? If they're going to say, oh, why have they not been brought out so Deshaun Watson can see what the text messages say? But I don't know. I innocent to proven guilty. I think he's innocent. I don't think he did any of that. I think it's just a bunch of bogus. It could be so political to the point to where it's the Texans trying to.
I've heard
trying to get him to stay because he wants to
trade.
Yeah, who knows? Everything's so political.
Yeah, because he wanted out before that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's right when they hire that general manager. He goes, "Yeah, some things never change. It's time to get out." You know, okay, yeah, you're going to make his player sit on the bench this year because of the accusations he really can't play.
Well, they can't do anything with him.
They can't. So they're like,
he can't play and they can't trade him.
Yep.
Nobody's going to take him if they're going to trade away all this stuff.
Well,
and then he goes to prison.
Yeah. Yeah, or whatever, or gets suspended for
exactly
32 games or whatever, and can't play. But
I guess that's not a prison offense.
No, it wouldn't be prison. I mean, he would have to just pay a huge fine, which now he can afford it. Now he can afford it. He signed that huge contract, so we'll see how that plays out. That's gonna be real interesting. You know, and what's the deadline is October 22nd, isn't it?
Something like that. Week 8.
Yeah, it's coming up, so we'll see what happens. I feel like if a player wants out of their contract, it just depends. Like him, I would if he didn't have all these accusations, I'd let him sit. Me as a team, no, I'm not putting you anywhere else.
Yeah, of course.
You just signed this contract. You're gonna sit. You're gonna sit until I get something so worth it. Then I may send you to the Jets.
Which now that's not really going to happen because they just invested their.
Yeah, I I don't know about that guy.
I don't either.
You draft somebody from FBS who really didn't play against SEC teams, high quality SEC.
Yeah.
You threw 30 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Okay, did you play high quality teams that can pressure you? Nope, he didn't, and he's proved it. He's thrown more interceptions.
Look
than
at a guy
touchdowns.
like Wentz, though. He came from
North Dakota.
Yeah. So, and I mean, granted, that's not saying much because, I mean, he was an MVP candidate at one point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Before
Injuries
he tore
have been his
ACL.
problem. It's just his problem.
Yeah,
He can't be healthy.
He's with the team right now that can actually the good thing with Colts is they have a huge good defense, really good defense, front line. Who is that up front there? They have Darius Leonard, the linebacker.
Yep.
But who's up front there?
I don't know.
God, what's his name?
Is Houston there? Justin Houston?
Houston's on the Ravens.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe so. They just said it the other night when they were playing the Chiefs, but God, I can't remember who it is. Number 99. Big dude, anyway. Great defense to be able to carry that team to the end of the game and make it a game. He's with the right coach, with Frank Reich. I think they have a good thing going. It's just about trying not to get injured and build
Which
chemistry
has not
with the
been
team.
his forte this season either.
No, and what sucks is that year with Philly that they won the Super Bowl, actually, he was the number 1 MVP candidate until he tore his ACL.
Yep.
And it's like, well, what do you do? Now they're nothing, and then they go and win the Super Bowl. Now he's a Super Bowl champion.
I mean, I think that really messed with his head too. Is that Foles was the hero?
Yep. Foles was the comeback kid and the hero, and look at Foles. He gets an $88 million guarantee from the Jags and plays there 1 year. And then
is he even in the league anymore?
He's with the Bears.
Oh, that's right.
Because Fields, Dalton, and
Foles?
And Foles, yeah. Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man, I feel pretty bad for Justin Fields. I don't know.
He'll be the starter at some point.
Yeah.
Like he is right now.
He is right. They've already announced him the starter. You can even see in his reaction he didn't want to go to Chicago.
No.
When he got drafted.
He did
not
not.
really people he got drafted. He was just like, man. Like I think he was excited to play in Denver. San Francisco. They were talking about taking him and gotten Trey Lance. We all knew Lawrence was going first, but I don't know, Justin Fields, man. That could be Matt Nagy could be what was that Jets coach? Adam Gase.
I think Nagy's on his last year.
Well, this has to be. You just got a first round high prospect draft pick. You got to prove something. If he can go win some games, go to the playoffs,
or even I feel like even if they're in the hunt,
yeah,
maybe he gets one more shot. But
yeah, but if they go 7-10,
yeah, if they have
an
underperforming year, I think he's out.
He's gone.
He's already in the hot seat.
Yeah.
What do you think of my least favorite team, the Kansas City Chiefs? Who'd have thought they were going to be 2-3?
If you would have told me that they would have this record right now, I would have said no.
Last in the division since week 1.
Yep. So they have lost to the Ravens,
Chargers,
the Chargers, and
Bills.
Okay. If you would have told me they would have lost to the Ravens and Bills, I would have said okay, maybe.
Not the Chargers. The Chargers are surprisingly
The Chargers
good,
are so good this year. I love that quarterback, dude. Love that quarterback. The problem with the Chiefs is their defense.
Defense is garbage, and I said
horrible.
that. I said that at the beginning of the year. I had a
Horrible.
feeling the Chiefs' defense was going to be trash.
Well, you got Frank Clark out there, which is great, but Chris Jones, if you can't pressure the quarterback, you're going to have a horrible defense. Your safeties and defensive backs can only run with the receivers as much before they get juked. And if you give a quarterback 7 seconds to throw the ball, you're going to complete it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah,
they just cannot. Great, and even their offense hasn't been performing as good.
Oh yeah, I love it.
I do too, because they're an AFC team.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
I hate them.
But I'm really excited in 2 weeks because we play the Bills Monday night, Titans and Bills Monday night. That is going to be
That'll be a good one.
That'll be a good game.
Bills are looking.
They are
sharp.
right now, I think the Bills are the favorites. Besides Bills for sure number one, and then you could argue the Chargers as well, the favorite to win the AFC.
Oh,
right
AFC.
Now. But
okay. Here's what I'll say about the Chargers. Okay, and don't get me wrong, they do look very good right now. I've been watching the Chargers closely long enough to know they're gonna have a rough patch sometime this season. I don't know where, I don't know when, but they're gonna have like a 3-game losing streak, and I'm not saying it's gonna crash and burn. But they're going to have struggle. It's not going to be easy going all the way to the end.
Yeah, you think it would have happened already, though.
But that's another thing that the Chargers do very well, is they start strong, and then they end poor. And I'm not saying that as like, I'm not putting that as a slight to the players. It's just a Charger curse that they'll have to overcome.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying they couldn't do it.
So beating the Chiefs, I mean, that's a huge win for
Absolutely.
anybody, but for them in the division, I mean, that right there.
They've beaten the Raiders too.
Yeah, so they're top right now, number one.
Yeah,
but that game against the Browns, that right there proved that Justin Herbert can hang with the top of the group, and that team can do it. I mean, they just absolutely. I mean, would they have a total of 6 touchdowns passes between the both teams in the fourth quarter? To get up to that. So I have Herbert in my other fantasy league, and he got me 88 points.
Jesus.
Yeah, I killed it that week.
He's
huge week,
he's good. And it's like Broncos have gotten lucky actually with the fact that the Raiders have we're keeping even with them.
Yeah.
Chiefs keep losing, so we're still like in there.
Oh yeah, no, you guys.
And it's like we gotten lucky, and we gotta. Injuries have been really hurting us. That's a big thing that we've been dealing with.
So I was looking last night because they said that Titans placed this guy on R and picked up this guy. So I looked, and I got to the Broncos, and I felt like I did 3 big swipes on my phone before I got to the next team. I was like, holy cow, and I went up and...
For injuries?
Dude, yeah.
It's rough.
That sucks. I think the Broncos can do it. I do. I think they can be up. They won't. I don't think they'll
I just
win
want
the
them
division.
to at least be in the hunt.
Not even in the hunt, but all you have to do is get to the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
All you do have to do is get in there.
That's what I want.
Look what Tennessee did 2 years ago. All they did,
you know what I
they
really
stuck
want?
in. They went to the championship.
I just want to beat the damn Chiefs. We're on like an 11-game losing streak to those
To the
guys.
Chiefs, yeah.
Beat them twice.
Yeah.
Both times, let's
Yeah.
beat them. And then, I don't know. The Raiders, I get a bad feeling after all this stuff. It's going to shake up the organization. They're just going to have another bad year. I think without Gruden at the helm, I think it's really going to hurt their momentum.
Yeah.
Which has already been hurt by 2 straight losses.
I've said this from the beginning. I like Derek Carr. I just don't think he's a great quarterback. Yeah, he has. This year he's doing good. Okay. Over the years, I have just not thought he was the quarterback. Like when he signed that huge contract, it's like, why? The only thing I can remember good about Derek Carr is when they played the Seahawks in the preseason, he threw 6 touchdowns. That's the only biggest thing I can remember from Carr. You know, Sean at work.
Yeah.
Love Sean to death. Yeah, we talk smack, and huge Raiders fan, okay? He thinks Derek Carr is better than Aaron Rodgers. He told me that, okay? I couldn't believe anybody would ever say something like that. Like, I just wouldn't think anybody could think that. But huge Raiders fan, huge Derek Carr fan.
When you're in love with your team,
get it.
you can believe some crazy shit.
When he said that, man, I said, okay.
You're liable to think some crazy shit.
Yeah, man. No, that's love for your team, love for Derek Carr. And he even says, we were talking break room the other day, and I said, dude, Carr's doing good. He's throwing some yards. He goes, I told you. I'll never go back on my word. I said, you expressed to me. You didn't tell me. You expressed to me you thought this. He is not better than Aaron Rodgers, man. I'm sorry.
No.
Definitely not.
No. If Derek Carr ever wins an MVP, I'll do a backflip.
Yeah.
Off a cliff.
For sure. If he
Actually,
wins,
I take that back because
he wins AFC Offensive Player of the Week, I'll do a backflip.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure he did this year, but you see where I'm going with it. I just don't think he is a. And maybe he's just with the wrong team.
He's one of those middle of the road QBs. He's a Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Matt Stafford because Matt Stafford was a great quarterback just on a bad team.
Yes, great quarterback.
Who's in that? Like an Andy Dalton? He was kind of just Joe Flacco, a guy who's like just good enough to not get fired.
Yeah. Yep.
Granted, Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl, but that was on the defense.
Yeah, that was a huge year for them on defense.
It's like he's just one of those middle of the road quarterbacks,
and he could be a Ryan Tannehill, where he goes to a different team.
Yeah,
and shows it. But
and
you look now, Ryan Tannehill with that offensive line, he's
struggling.
He's struggling a lot. Yeah,
every quarterback has their ebbs and flows.
Oh yeah, and I think their real identity will come out soon. I think Titans are gonna take off. This is gonna be a true test. Bills and then Chiefs.
Please beat the Chiefs.
I hope so. Dude.
Bills, it's gonna be tough. But
Bills gonna be
Chiefs,
tough.
I think you can definitely.
I think Henry's gonna run all over the Chiefs. I think he's gonna run all over the Chiefs again. And then they play the Colts, I think, at home. Then they go to L.A.
Who do the Chiefs have this week?
The Washington.
They'll probably win that.
Yeah.
Because they beat the Eagles and who?
Eagles and the Browns.
And they barely beat the Browns. Should have lost that game.
Another team I hate.
And they struggled with the Eagles for the first half. Then they blew them away in the second.
Yeah.
But what the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
I love it.
Yeah.
I hope that Washington does beat them.
Could you imagine if
and Dan Snyder gets fired?
Could you imagine if they finish with under losing
800
record? Could you imagine if they even finish even or under? Could you imagine? The only thing I do not like about that is that's all the offseason is going to be talking about. They're still going to be ranked number 1 or 2 in the ranking. Oh, they're going to do this. But you look, they went and spent millions and millions on their offensive line and did absolutely nothing with their defense.
Yeah.
Now they're going to say, okay, now we need to do some of our defense. They don't have any money.
Nope.
They have no money.
They're going to start cutting guys.
They're going to have
to letting guys go.
Yeah.
If they end with a losing record, instant boner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instant wet dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Sleeping good those nights. Yeah. I'm already...
Knowing that they're just in last place in the division is just a really big relief.
I could care less if the Raiders or the Chargers won the division as long as it's not the Chiefs.
And that's how it was for me with the Colts when Peyton Manning was there. I remember one year Titans finally win their first game of the season. They're 1-0, right? And the Texans beat the Colts on a field goal that year. And just seeing that they were ranked number 4 in the division was the greatest relief. And then of course, week 16 and they're number 1 and number 1 in the AFC.
Well, and that still could happen with the Chiefs, so I'm not holding my breath, but it's not looking good.
No, it's not. They could definitely fall this year. But you would think with their offense, high-powered, they wouldn't. But if they can't stop anybody on defense, then what? They're going to have to do something. Like they're going to have to make a big trade now. Get somebody picked up, something. They need Chris Jones back. They get Chris Jones back, that's a huge right there. But they need another edge rusher to be able to pressure. Because you got Tyrann Mathieu back there. That guy's a monster. I think he's good.
Yeah.
But I just hope Henry runs all over and takes Tyrann, throws him into the stands.
That'd be great. Anything else you want to say about football? I think we've talked a lot about it.
No, talked a lot about football.
Well, I wanted to say... Oh, God. Okay, so I was actually thinking about this earlier today. So, you know how you're starting to get old? You're old, right?
I'm 30.
Yeah, you're
Thanks.
Older.
I'll say that on air. Yeah, I'm 30 now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember when I thought you were like 40?
Yeah, you did. I don't know what it was. I don't even have gray hair. Maybe because I have 3 kids.
Because you have kids.
3 kids, man. That's... Just thinking about that. 30 years old with 3 kids. I've got a kid only 19 years younger than me. Think about that.
I mean,
crazy.
There's upsides to all that. Having kids while you're young.
Man. It's... Right now, being young... Not really... It's not saying getting it out of the way, but... Having kids when you're young, being able to still do things with them, it is a blessing, man. I love those kids, man. My wife stays home with them all day. Man, she's a superstar. Superstar. I mean,
Well, and you're only 2 years older than me.
She's 2 years older than me, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, well, and I was going to say, first of all, how you know when you're getting old is you start thinking Honey Bunches of Oats is a good cereal.
Yeah.
You enjoy it. You actually look forward to it.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
That's been me.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Or they had that thing that goes above the sink for dishes drying.
You're like, oh.
Dude, that is the greatest thing ever.
You get the dad boner over that?
Yeah, or you walk outside after a good rainstorm, every dad, man, we really needed that. That's,
Yeah,
that's when you're getting old.
Start thinking about the weather too much.
Yeah.
No, and like I was thinking about it too. It was like, because we're basically the same age. There's two different types of guys our age. There's you, and there's me. Guys like you are like family oriented. You're very much thinking about like the future.
Yeah.
You're planning. You're a planner. You know, you're thinking about your kids' futures, your future, your family, all that stuff. Me, I'm like a day at a time kind of guy.
Yeah.
And
So
how it
happens, yeah.
And the way it's going to end for us is I'll end up murdered or, just die suddenly in a car accident. Like I got that fast-paced kind of life.
Yeah.
You'll end up put in a home by your kids who don't want anything to, they just want to be rid of you.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll die in a home suffocated by a nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at an older age.
Yeah.
See, I'm at this pace I'm liable to die younger.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. I don't think so. I sure hope not.
But or here's the other side of it with having a family. Maybe one of them kills you.
Oof. I don't think so. I don't think so.
And I don't think so either. But out of how many kids do you have? 3?
3.
Out of the 3 kids, who do you think is most capable of murder?
Of murder.
No, don't answer that. Don't answer that. I'm absolutely
think about that.
just kidding. No, don't answer that. I only met your one kid.
Cade,
yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a good kid.
Great kid.
A lot of energy.
It's funny, a lot of energy.
He's the question king. Asks a lot of questions.
Yes, he is. Yes. He will sit there and ask you
That's
anything, tell you stories. He's very social. Very social. Then you've got my middle one, Brody.
Because, you have a young one, too,
I
right?
got a 3-year-old.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, I feel like that was more recent.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. I've got Brody.
He's the most capable of murder.
Oh, man.
The 3-year-old.
He could be. No, he is the absolute... He is a terror, man.
Is he?
Compared to... So, like, Cade... first kid, you're so worrisome and you're so like already planned and protective of how you're gonna be a parent, right? You think about it so much. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay, we need to move this. Like, I'm pretty sure we had those door handle protectors on our doors, like when he first came home, and like got thinking about it. Like, he can't even. Number one, he can't even crawl. He can't even reach that for like 3 years. Why do we have those on? You plan so much, Kay, and you're so. You're scared. You're almost scared that you're overprotective. So you have this, and this, okay? And we were in the hospital all day with him, trying to have natural birth, and all of a sudden he flipped. We had to have a C-section.
Oh.
So that was an all day, like, long experience, did great. We lived with her parents at the time, got our own place. We were great. Moved on, and then we had Brody, and it was weird because she's pregnant. We go to the hospital. 2 hours later, we have a kid. They just C-section again.
Okay.
So, and after that, it's just like, okay, you have a little brother. Okay, let's do this. You got to do this with him. Now we're teaching him how to be a big brother. And now they're super close. They bicker. They fight. Then we have Colin. And it's like, okay, we have another boy. We got all the clothes, all this food, whatever. He is a terror, man. Out of all 3 of them, he is probably the biggest stinker out of all 3. Cade was, they all were. They're boys at young age. Brody is the type to where if he doesn't want to do something, he will not do it. Does not matter what you do, he will not do it. Cade eventually will just give in and do it. Colin, you have to force. Like, brush your teeth. No, never. And, grab him, put him in there. The older ones will, but he is a stinker, man. He is so... They're all so much fun, though. At this age, like, teaching them football and, basketball and sports, and, they game... teaching, playing Madden and everything. They're into Fortnite, and I can't stand that game. But listening to how they are talking to each other, okay, do this, and bonding, it's super cool.
Well, it's to have multiple kids. Yeah, I think it definitely helps with the just social, obviously, and like the fact that they're all boys, they can all like relate to each other. They can all
Yep. No, and Collins, he's probably younger. He's probably our biggest daredevil. He'll
See, and I was
try
gonna say,
anything.
I get the feeling, just because it's 3 boys,
Yep.
he very easily could end up being like the tough one.
He's gonna be
Because he's gonna have to fight
Yep,
his whole life against his brothers, and that's not to
for
say,
sure.
like, but they're still his big brothers.
Oh, yeah.
And he's gonna have to earn the respect of the
yeah.
big brothers. He's gonna have to like try and they're
just
always gonna be.
I can't see them, either one of them, ever getting like right now, Colin, stop. You know, they'll push him and he gets mad and cries, whatever. I could never see him getting hurt physically by like getting punched or kicked like siblings do by them, because when he's let's just put this in perspective. When he's 8, in 5 more years, Cade will be 16. I don't think he's gonna beat up his 8-year-old brother.
Right,
You know
but
what
he's
I mean?
still gonna. Well, not only that, but he'll have like him to look up to.
Have him look
So
up
he
to.
has a version of himself in a way to kind of like emulate, or as men we all want to do better.
Yeah.
It's all a competition.
Yep.
You know, so it's like whatever his older brother does, he's gonna want to exceed that. So he has levels of expectation that he wants to exceed, and that'll only make. I mean, that's not to say anything slight about the older ones.
Yeah.
I'm the older sibling in my family, so it's like. But I think I set the bar for my younger siblings.
Yeah. Oh well, that's
your role as the older sibling is to be the role model.
Oldest is the role model. You get in the most trouble because you're supposed to be setting the example for your younger ones. Okay. Then you have.
And you also were kind of the coddled one as a kid because you're the first kid.
Yeah, you're the first kid. So, I mean, I remember we did a baby book, and I can remember so many memories with Cade and everything we tracked with him. And Brody, you know, it's middle child. You know what I mean? As a second child, you kind of like, I don't need a baby shower. I don't need a baby book. We'll be okay. I just want to be able to teach Cade how to be an older brother and a good older brother to him. And you kind of forget about the first time parent stuff. Then when the third one comes along, it's like,
we've been here.
Dude, we've been here, done this. Like, okay, throw a diaper on him, put him in his crib.
Yeah.
All right, let's hold him. Okay, feed him. All right, we're good. He was probably, I want to say, so Cade was hard. Cade had reflex. So when he was a baby, I mean, he would like burp up and project out. Like he was tough during the night for a while. But that was when I was kind of starting my Toyota career as a lube tech and moving up doing things. So Cade he would go to sleep at 4:30 at night and then wake up at 3 in the morning. So the only time I had with him was from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. I would get him fed, hang out with him, play, and then 7 a.m. I'd get him back down to sleep, and I would go shower and go to work by 8. I'd come home, wouldn't have any time with him because he'd be sleeping. So that was the only time. So he was probably my hardest during the night because he was up so early. You know, Brody was fine. Brody was really good during the night. He woke up quite a bit. And Colin, he still wakes up early in the night and, Dad, Mom, where are you? Walking up the stairs, tripping over things. Where are you? And then now his thing is he gets in bed. I want berry milk and PJ Mask.
And what?
PJ Mask, the cartoon.
Oh.
Some cartoon on Netflix or something he loves. And it's like, dude, it's 5 in the morning. Like, come on. Ooh, and he gets mad, but no, I wouldn't. I love all 3 of those boys, dude. They're so much fun. Raising boys, and then now I see what my mom went through. Having me, I'm getting my payback now, dude.
Right.
It's
So, we have a mutual friend in Mac who's about to have his first kid.
Yeah.
Not specifically just for him, but what advice would you give to a first-time parent having gone through it all? He's having a girl, by the way. So
having a girl, I knew that.
But not just for him, but for any first-time parent. What advice would you give to a first-time parent?
So I will not give any advice to mothers because they are all different. My advice to Mac is to be there, of course, for your baby, but be there for Savannah.
Mm.
Be there for her. Anything she needs, do for her. Whether it's rubbing her back or going and getting a 7-Up out of the fridge. Just be there for her because postpartum is a thing with pregnancies. And you as a man, as a dad now, and as a husband, you have to be that that rock for her.
Mm.
So just be there, just whatever she needs. So,
Nice. So, and that's for all
dads. Just
yeah.
be there, whatever that woman needs, be there for her.
It's a good one. That's a good one.
It is.
Speaking of, I don't think I've met your wife once. Yes, at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
I think that's the only time.
Yeah. She was the only one not drunk.
How did you so I don't even know anything really about her or just you two in general. How'd you meet her? Like, how did that all?
She was actually dating an old friend of mine. Like, not really dating, but having a thing with, and he was going through some stuff with his ex-girlfriend, so he ended up kind of using her as a rebound or whatever. She found out, and then her friend was having a thing with one of my really good friends who lived across the street from me. And I said, well, why don't you come over there? You can hang out while they hang out, and I'll just hang out with you. And we ended up hitting it off, and been together ever since. That was in 2007. So we just actually, October 5th was our 11-year wedding anniversary. So, but, yeah. And she's lived in Park City her whole life.
Oh, wow.
Whole life. So, yeah.
Well, God bless
Crazy.
her.
Yeah.
She's with you.
With me. She is with me. No,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
so you've been, so 11 years, you say, yeah?
We've been married. We've
Damn.
been together since 2007, so 14 years. July of.
So you would have been...
I was 16. I was 16 and she was 18.
So like a high school sweetheart type thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You hear that a lot, actually.
Yeah, nowadays you do. Yeah. Or, people date in high school, then they break, and then they go back
End up-
together or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, fate. No, we've been together since, man. It's been awesome. Ups and downs, that's marriages and with kids involved, and, me being a full-time job, being out social all day, and her being home with kids, she's, the agitation comes in, and I understand where she's coming from because I've been home alone with the kids many times. I know just like dealing with kids. It's stressful. But for her to understand what I'm going through and for me to put that in her mind and to make it seem like it's worse than what she's going through, it ain't happening. I just tell her how my day was, how hers was, and we kind of just move on from it now.
Well, I mean, in a relationship like that, it's like you kind of both have your parts to play, and you got to respect each other's positions as what they do.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah, it's here, I've told her many times, and I will always tell her, fantastic mom, does a great job with the kids, keeping that house on lockdown like that, and got 3 dogs too, taking care of them, and super
Jesus.
mom. Yeah. She's super busy, and she does it all. And she does it all. She still finds the time to be able to cook me dinner, or, make me lunch, or bring me a coffee if she's in town or something. Like, she always finds those little things, and to hear her tell me that, thank you for what you do, working hard all day, like we have that, mutual respect for each other for what our positions are in our family, and yeah, it's super awesome. So
Nice. That's good.
Yep.
Love.
Yeah, love. But it's marriage. It's not all sunshine and roses.
Of course
man.
not.
It is you fight, maybe not every day, but you fight every weekly to just, and it just builds your relationship stronger, builds your marriage stronger. Like, little arguments we get in, sometimes they turn heated, sometimes they, just whatever, we move on. But it just seems like we just get stronger every day.
Nice.
Tighter connections. So, yeah, she's been through a lot with me. I've been through a lot with her, and we're meant.
Plans for more kids?
No, definitely not.
Getting the old snippy?
She is, I don't even know what they call it nowadays, like crimp solder. I don't know, but they take the tubes now, and I think they crimp them off at the end, and then I don't know. It's weird. Yes, it's possible to get undone still for her, but nope, no way, nope, no.
Well,
I'm gonna.
I don't blame you.
I'm gonna get snipped too.
Just
eventually.
double protection.
Yeah. Get snipped, her tied, double wrap, and pull out, I guess. No, we've made it clear we don't want.
Well, I mean, 3 seems like
I think she would. I really do. And
did you ever want a daughter at all?
Oh yeah, that's why we went for we had Colin. Yeah, we went for a girl.
Shooting boys.
Just couldn't shooting boys, man.
It happens. I mean,
it's It's not that I wouldn't love more kids or, necessarily like completely out of the question. It's just we have a family now. I want us to be able to grow as a family and do things as a family now, and not always have to, not to be raising little ones all the time. We have a little one now. He's getting older. He's starting to do more things. Let's build on that. Let's move on as a family. We made our point. We can have kids. We've had 3 of them.
Yeah.
I think we're good. And so here was my philosophy or on kids, okay? And I babysat my niece and nephew with her a long time ago when we were just dating in high school, okay? And she made cookies. Well, when my mom made cookies, we each got the beater, right? And my mom scooped the bowl, or my stepdad got the bowl and ate the stuff out of there, okay? Well, when cookies are made, I get the bowl now. Well, with 3 kids, there's only 2 beaters. So now the 3rd kid gets the bowl, and the bowl's mine. So one of them's getting left out now. That was my philosophy with kids. Only have 2 because you only have 2 beaters on the dough mixer. So, no, they're great, man. They're so much fun, so much fun.
Oh yeah, you haven't even. I mean, you really. Well, I mean, yeah, you still got all the teenage years to go to.
Yeah, excited. We have them home schooling right now, but they're gonna go back next year and stay, and then Kate's gonna be in football again, and Brody, we did flag football this year, and I'm gonna keep coaching. I'm gonna coach him all the way to the end, and call in, and I'm gonna do that. That was a lot of fun. I didn't want to do it, but I ended up doing it, and it was super fun this year. So I'm gonna start doing it in the years to come, and hopefully go get us a championship in flag football. Would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and hopefully they grow up to not play for the Tennessee Titans. If they want to win.
They better go to the Broncos, right?
Yeah, sure. I don't know about all that. I didn't say that.
Hey, that'd be cool.
It'd be cool. Hey, NFL? Who gives a...
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question for you. Just theoretically speaking, if they made the NFL, do you drop that for whatever team they're on?
Absolutely not.
No?
Yes.
You still rep the one. Maybe rep both.
So, of course, I would become whatever fan they are. Like, whatever team they're on, of course.
You're a fan of them.
I would be a fan of them, repping their jersey, this and that, but I would still root for the Titans, no matter what. Sure. No matter what.
That's how I would probably feel.
But I would never show up to one of their games and, like,
in Titans
gear. If they were playing the Titans, I would... I'd
just sit quietly.
I'd have to wear a jersey, of theirs, and then maybe a Titan shirt underneath it just to do it. But no, I would for sure root for them 100% and have their back. That's
well. And then if they all got in, you got to root for multiple teams. It's like
I just start rooting for the Titans. That'd be too much work.
Yeah. Now it's like okay,
3 different teams. Yeah,
just bring in the money.
Jags, Jets, and Browns.
Put me in that home.
Yeah, exactly. No, so Katie tells me, Dad, if when I go to the NFL and become a star receiver and make all that money, I'm gonna buy you that castle in Billings. Oh, the big castle. I said, okay, and it's your home, Dad. You use it as you want, and I'll buy you that '67 Stingray you want to. Gray, right? Yes, son.
Remind him of that. If that day comes.
Oh, I think he'll remember. He's mentioned that to me quite a few times. So
nice. Well, I think we're tailing off here.
Yeah.
Toward the end. Always like to end the episode with a positive or motivational message from the guest, something that you've taken from your life, something that you can give back to the listener. Anything come to mind?
In life, don't let every day bring you down to where you feel like you cannot get back up, because you can. Keep moving forward. That's it.
It's a pretty steady
pretty
thing
simple.
that I like to actually preach on here anyway,
Yep.
so it works. I like it.
Yep.
Right on.
So, sweet, man. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you finally got to do it.
Again.
So
I know.
We got her in. So thank you guys for watching. As always, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. And of course, don't forget, life's a garden.
Life's a garden. Thank you.
Dig it.